Imagine standing in a world where everyone is running. Some sprint with determination, clinging to discipline and values. Others cut corners, manipulate outcomes, and crush anyone who blocks their path. Yet when the dust settles, when the final scoreboard lights up, who do we see at the top? Is it the ethical, the patient, the kind? No, it is almost always the ones willing to cross lines. The ones who understand that the world is not shaped by fairness, but by force. This truth is deeply unsettling for many. We are taught from childhood that good things come to good people, that patience, humility, and hard work will be rewarded, that the universe is just. But if you strip away the romanticism, the slogans, and the fairy tales, you're left with a sobering realization. The system is not broken. It was never meant to reward virtue. It was engineered to reward understanding and execution. Those who rise are not those who wait for approval. They are those who act relentlessly, even ruthlessly. Look at politics. The most polished, rehearsed, and honest candidates don't win because they represent truth. They win if they know how to control narratives, exploit public emotion, and survive the blood sport of influence. A leader who sticks to values at the cost of leverage is often remembered for their downfall, not their ideals. The world respects influence, not innocence. Integrity may win hearts, but power wins wars. In business, the myth is even louder. We're told that customer obsession, employee care, and community focus define the most successful companies. But beneath the PR smiles and social campaigns lies a more brutal truth. The market doesn't reward kindness. It rewards dominance. Companies grow not by playing nice, but by moving fast, cutting fat, swallowing competition, and monopolizing attention. Those at the helm often make impossible decisions. Mass layoffs, ruthless acquisitions, price manipulations. Not because they are heartless, but because they understand the terrain. Business is war. And yet, the masses still cling to hope. Hope that the system is fair, that the good will triumph, that those who sacrifice will one day be acknowledged. But this isn't a fantasy novel. It's real life. The rules weren't written by saints. They were written by survivors, by conquerors, by those who won. The world is not run by virtue. It's run by strategy. Why does history glorify the strong, the bold, the feared? Because power respects movement, not morality. Alexander didn't become great because he was kind. He became great because he moved. Relentlessly, brutally, with clarity and purpose. Julius Caesar wasn't celebrated because he obeyed rules. He shattered them, crossed the Rubicon not just geographically, but symbolically, announcing to the world that power is seized, not granted. From ancient empires to modern boardrooms, the pattern repeats. Power is not distributed by merit. It is claimed by force, by vision, by decisiveness. Even in revolutions, where fairness is the rallying cry, those who emerge as leaders are rarely the kindest among the crowd. They are the most calculated, the most focused, the most audacious. And this brings us to a crucial revelation. If you wish to rise, if you want to shape the world rather than be shaped by it, you must first destroy the illusion. The illusion that morality guarantees success. That patience alone yields greatness. That life will reward you just for being good. It won't. This doesn't mean you must become evil. It means you must become aware. Aware of the forces at play. Aware of how the game is actually played, not how it's advertised. You must train yourself to become more than just a player in the system. You must become a strategist, a force, a presence that cannot be ignored. It starts with ambition, not shallow desire, but deep, all-consuming hunger. The kind of ambition that makes you restless when standing still. That keeps you awake not from anxiety, but from obsession. People who succeed on a massive scale don't casually want success. They need it. They live it. They breathe it. The mediocre settle. They tell themselves stories to justify their position, blaming systems, luck, timing, or fate. The exceptional never stop climbing. For them, there's no final peak, only the next summit. Indecision is the silent killer of dreams. The masses hesitate. They wait for signs, for approval, for certainty. But power does not come to those who wait. It comes to those who move. Decisiveness is not about recklessness. It's about direction, about having the audacity to choose, even when the outcome is unclear. The powerful act. They do not wait for perfect conditions because they know those conditions never come. They understand that hesitation is a luxury the ambitious cannot afford. While others drown in doubt, they make decisions and adjust on the way. The greatest generals, CEOs, creators, they all share one trait: momentum. Even when they fail, they do so moving forward. Fear is the second great paralyzer. Most people are prisoners of it. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of stepping out of line. But the paradox is this: what people fear often marks the path to their freedom. The powerful are not fearless. They are familiar with fear. They just learn to use it as fuel, not a cage. They walk toward discomfort, not away from it. They speak when it's easier to be silent. They act when others freeze. That's not recklessness, it's courage. And courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in the face of it. Then comes strategy, the sharpest weapon in the arsenal of power. Strategy is what separates dominance from destruction. It is the discipline to plan before acting, to think 3 steps ahead while others react emotionally. Strategy means knowing when to play by the rules and when to rewrite them, when to smile and when to strike, when to ally and when to isolate. The strategic mind views morality not as a universal truth, but as a context, something to be used or set aside, depending on the objective. This doesn't make them heartless. It makes them effective. Emotion is not eliminated. It is controlled. Deployed where useful, held back when distracting. The powerful understand that kindness can be a weapon. That empathy, when timed correctly, can win more than any threat. But they also know when kindness is weakness, when it invites betrayal, when it allows parasites to thrive. They do not let guilt dictate their decisions. They do not confuse forgiveness with foolishness. Strategy demands that you see the game, not just the pieces. That you understand the psychology of others, their fears, their motivations, their blind spots. And that brings us to perhaps the most overlooked element of power: perception. The world doesn't just respond to who you are, it responds to how you're seen. Power is a performance, a projection. It must be communicated with presence, confidence, and control. If you do not shape how you are seen, others will do it for you, and they will not be kind. Commanding attention is not arrogance. It is necessary. Influence requires visibility. Authority requires narrative. The most powerful people are not always the best, but they're always perceived as the best. That perception gives them leverage, and leverage is the true currency of power. So how do you become one of them? You cultivate the traits that history has always rewarded: ambition without apology, decisiveness without delay, courage without compromise, strategy without sentiment, and control, absolute control, over how the world sees you. It begins with owning your story. Most people try to blend in, to be accepted, to avoid judgment. But leaders don't blend in, they stand out. They understand that being liked is not the goal. Being respected is. Being trusted. Being followed. You will not please everyone, and trying will make you weak. The stronger your presence, the more polarized the reaction. That's not failure. That's success. The goal is not to avoid criticism. It's to be so compelling that you dominate the conversation, that even your enemies can't ignore you. But there's a warning here. Power is a fire. If you are careless, it will burn you. If you are arrogant, it will destroy you. The same traits that build empires can collapse them. Look at Caesar. Look at Napoleon. Look at modern leaders and billionaires who flew too close to the sun. They mastered ambition, but forgot self-awareness. They commanded armies, companies, and movements, but failed to control themselves. Power untempered by discipline is a ticking bomb. The moment you believe you are untouchable is the moment you begin to fall. Sustainable power demands inner mastery, the ability to manage ego, to learn constantly, to evolve. The world changes. The rules shift. What worked yesterday may destroy you tomorrow. The great adapt. The mediocre cling to the past. The weak pretend the future isn't coming. Adaptation is not just about reacting to change. It is about anticipating it, leading it, being the force that others adjust to. This is what separates legends from footnotes. The strong are not the ones who fight hardest. They're the ones who evolve fastest. So ask yourself, are you still clinging to the illusion of fairness? Are you waiting for permission? Or are you willing to face reality, to learn its mechanics, and to step into the arena fully armed? Because the game is happening, whether you're prepared or not, and the clock is ticking. To master power, you must understand its true nature, not as a trophy, but as a test. It will demand more from you than talent. It will ask for sacrifice, discipline, the ability to see the world for what it truly is, not for what you wish it to be. Power is not evil. It is not holy. It simply is a neutral force that bends toward those who are bold enough to grasp it and wise enough to hold it. In the hands of the naive, it corrupts. In the hands of the ruthless, it conquers. But in the hands of the balanced, it transforms. This is the path the greatest leaders walk, not one of blind ambition or naive goodness, but of balance. They are not saints. They are not monsters. They are master tacticians who understand the role morality plays and when to rise above it. They know when to build and when to break, when to speak and when to listen, when to command and when to serve. Because power is not just about control over others. It begins with control over self, your mind, your habits, your fears. If you cannot command yourself, you cannot command a room. If you are ruled by impulses, by emotion, by ego, then the power you hold will consume you. But if you are rooted, if you understand your mission, sharpen your skills, and discipline your thoughts, then power becomes a multiplier, not a trap. This is why some people rise and remain. They don't just master the world. They master themselves. They don't just build kingdoms. They build character. They know that ruthlessness without reason is destruction, but strength with vision, that shapes history. You don't need to become cruel to become strong, but you do need to become unshakable. You need to stop apologizing for wanting more, for thinking big, for outgrowing people, for refusing mediocrity. There's nothing noble about playing small, about letting life pass by while you wait for permission. You were not born to blend in. You were born to break patterns. But here's the uncomfortable part. No one will hand you the tools. No one will come knocking with a map. You must build it. You must decide. You must choose to rise. It starts today, with a shift in mindset, from passive to active, from hoping to executing, from waiting to seizing. No more excuses. No more justifying your place in a system that was never designed to serve you. Break the rules if they hold you back. Bend the world if it won't bend for you. Become the force you've been waiting for. And yet, remember, the moment you rise, you will be tested. The higher you go, the harder the challenges. Power creates enemies. Influence breeds envy. You will be misunderstood, doubted, resisted. But that is the price of rising. It is not punishment. It is confirmation that you are moving. Because the ones who are feared, followed, and remembered are not those who asked for permission. They are those who redefined what was possible. Look back through time. The revolutionaries, the innovators, the empires, all built by people who were once told to stay in line, who were told they were too much, too bold, too ambitious. And they were. That's why they succeeded. You must decide who you will be, a whisper or a voice, a shadow or signal, a pawn or a player. There is a third path between ruthless tyranny and passive morality. It is the path of strength with restraint, vision with ethics, strategy with humanity. That's the edge. That's where the real power lies. Not in pretending the world is fair, but in understanding how it works and using that knowledge to move with force and wisdom. The world will never hand you power. It will never ask you to lead. You must claim it, take it, own it, and once you have it, protect it, evolve it, use it to build something greater than yourself. The final truth: power will test every part of you. It will tempt your ego, push your patience, and reveal your weaknesses. But if you pass that test, If you rise without losing your soul, then you become more than successful. You become legendary. So ask yourself, not just what you want, but who you are willing to become to get it. The system was never meant to serve you. You must rise above it, break it, or bend it to your will. Because in the end, the world does not belong to those who wait. It belongs to those who understand. It belongs to those who move. It belongs to those who take it.